Good morning. Now we're going to get deep because this is Genesis 3. The serpent's deception and man's shameful fall. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Okay, now, if we go and we're studying by a concordance, serpent actually is I think Nakash, which is glistening one. So it wasn't just a snake, and it was a very attractive creature before he got cursed. The adversary was. And so this is the seduction of Eve. And so subtle is I have to look up the definition, but it's doing things without being known. Subtle. And so it's important that we get a definition of that. He was the most subtlest beast of the field. It's a way of manipulation. I'd have to look up what the word means. I'll get back to that. Now notice what Satan tells Eve. He doesn't just come out and downright lie. He starts off his lie with a little bit of truth. And he said, but it's still a lie. Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? So right away attacking what God says. He knew that after the fall was complete, he'd be given control of this world. Let's continue. Genesis 3:2. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. Okay, so we have the parameter established. If you touch the tree of knowledge of good and evil, if you even touch it, you'll die, let alone eat of it. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. Now right there, bam, right there, a straight-faced lie from the liar serpent himself. That's the biggest whopper. That's the biggest whopper if I ever heard one. For God doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And that's still a deception in the New Age today, and with the occult. You shall be as gods. You're your own God. No, we are created beings, created under subject to our God, and that is how it is. And when for God doeth know that in that day ye eat, okay. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Now, without getting into a word study, if you look up some eat, it actually means one of the definitions is to procreate. That's why I believe in the serpent seed line doctrine, because it's a true doctrine. There are literal children of Satan. And so, let's continue the story. And the eyes of them were both open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. See, if it wasn't about sex, then there wouldn't be this context of them knowing they're naked or not. That wouldn't be prevalent in the story. But yeah, there was there was some sexual contact between Eve and the serpent. And then, the serpent can probably change forms. And there's some sexual contact between Adam and the serpent Eve. Yeah, it's gross. I know. But I have to speak what I believe to be true. And they heard the voice of Yahweh God walking in the garden in the cool of day. And Adam and his wife hid himself from the presence of Yahweh God amongst the trees of the garden. So yeah, now comes the atonement. God questions Adam and Eve. And Yahweh God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. So right there, you're busted. You're hit. And he said, Who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? Right away, Adam blames Eve. And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And Yahweh God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Beguiled means wholly seduced. That's what it means to beguile something. To have them wholly seduced. So you got to know we're talking about sex at this point. So the serpent is cursed. Oh, now we're getting to my favorite. Now we're going to see a Christophany. And Yahweh God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. I watch these YouTube videos, and there's this arrogant, pompous a-hole that gets on there and goes, why is the serpent's punishment to crawl on his belly? When that's when it does. Because it's real simple. It didn't do that before. It had legs and a body and a torso, and after God cursed it, that's all it was, is a belly crawler. Here's my favorite right here. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. What does that mean? Well, Yeshua is gonna bruise the head of the devil when he defeated him at Calvary. And then their seed shall be adverse to each other. So God has a seed spiritually, and Satan has a seed spiritually and biologically. And those two are at war. And make no mistake, the war's not over. The punishment God promises for mankind. Unto the woman he said, And I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. And in sorrow now thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. I'm not going to make, I'm going to try and, I'm debating whether in the last 9 minutes or not I have to do it. And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow thou shalt eat of it all the days of thy life. So we got two main curses. We got the curse on the devil. We got the curse on the woman that she bears seed, and she experiences pain in pregnancy. We have the curse on the man that he has to work for a living now on the ground. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. If this cuts off unexpectedly, I apologize, but I'm getting up there in minutes. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread till thou return unto the ground, for out of it was thou taken. For dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. God takes the spirit the spirit goes back to whom he gave it, and we are but dirt. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. And Adam also and to his wife did Yahweh God make coats of skin and clothe them. So yeah, right away he sacrificed an animal. As soon as he got there and realized they sinned, he showed them what their sin was worse. That's why he made a coat. So, and Yahweh God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also the tree of life and eat and live forever. That would be terrible. Believe me, you don't want to live apart from God and live with sin forever. Therefore, Yahweh God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the garden Eden cherubims, and a flaming sword which turned every which way, to keep the way of the tree of life. Tune in more.